Hello, hi, have a good day. I'm Norjuma Habib Muhammad from Aidijuma Scarf, and today I'm here to share with you an inspiration of Aidijuma on Lazada TV. So, as you all know, is that Aidijuma is the company who sell a scarf, Bawal Scarves. Okay, it's a square scarf, and for the last 5 years, we've been selling a Bawal scarf from the product of Bawal Basic, which is a plain scarf, Bawal Tone, Bawal Printed, and Bawal Printed Care. Because the difference between Bawal Printed Love and Bawal Printed Care is the material and the technique of printing, and also the image that we choose. Besides that, why we have all these category, Bawal Tone, Bawal Basic, Bawal Printed, and Bawal Printed Care, because of the price point. So for today, I would love to share with you how to style our product. So this is Bawal Basic. So all the girls, okay, all the hijabis, all the girls who love to try different kind of style or love to wear different method of wearing a bawal, we can try this style because this is the most conventional style, the most easy and the most practical way of style bawal scarf. Okay, first you take this scarf. Okay, Bawal Scarf. Alright, Bawal Scarf by Aidijuma, the special and the unique point of this product is we have double tag. One is the material and one more is the iron tag. Okay, the whole idea why that we have this, so when you style like me, so it look nicer a bit. Okay, so number one, how do you do this style? Step one, okay, take the scarf, fold it into triangle like this. Alright, you can see it's very simple because the size of the scarf is 45 inch. Okay, it's not too big, it's not too small, it's with very nice materials, very beautiful colors. Okay, easy for you to wear, but the best point is it's affordable. Okay, so we put this way. Alright, adjust a bit so everyone, when you wear the scarf, okay, make it your own style, you know, your own trademark, your own signature looks. Okay, like for me, I always have this signature look because I'm so lazy. Alright, so I take a brooch. Okay, after you put this triangle folded scarf this way, okay, make it equal. Okay, take a brooch, get a very good quality brooch. Okay, you how to know the very good quality brooch? You can see how sharp it can be. Okay, so this one, okay, put it here, because when you choose a very low quality brooch, okay, it can cause a hole in your scarf, so that one will make everybody feel the scarf look a bit old and it's not nice. Okay, this after you brush under your chin, yeah, and then fold it this way. Okay, nice, right, in front. Okay, now how to do the knot. Okay, everyone will always ask me how to do the knot. Okay, the way I'm doing the knot is always simple. Okay, you hold this way, the scarf. Okay, fold it up. Okay, up. Okay, like this. Okay, you can see the iron tag will make sure that your scarf fall nicely. Okay, fold this way. Make it very gentle, very clean, and okay, you pull this gently too. Alright, okay, there you can see, same, right? Okay, the most simplest style of styling bawal scarf by Aidijuma. So everyone can get this scarf, okay, purchase with the best price, the best offer for this raya at lazada.com.my/LazadaTV. So check out for Bawal Basic by Aidijuma. Okay, this is style 1 for today. Okay, now it's about time to change this. Okay, like this. Alright, so we're done with Bawal Basic by Aidijuma. You can get this at lazada.com.my. Alright, besides this Bawal Basic, as I told you just now, we have another category of the product, which is Bawal Tone. Okay, the Bawal Tone come into two kind of coloring, I said. Okay, one with a dark color and a light color, and another one is with a 3 color. Okay, 3 tone, I must say. Okay, bawal tone is the I love to style in bawal tone because it have 3 colors: the kakis color, the pink color, and the minty color. Normally, these items is become a very practical item to carry when you travel. So with one scarf, you can match with different kind of dress, baju kurung, or even a casual wear. All the design by Aidijuma is designed by me. It's not because I'm a good fashion designer, but because I need the product to run this business. So if I have a fashion designer or I have a creative team, when they say they don't have an idea or they're not in the mood to come up with a product, okay, how could I run this business? Therefore, I decide every month we need to come up with almost about 60 SKU. SKU means colors. So with these 60 colors, we can provide the product for all our dear customer. We also can provide for all our dear client like Lazada.com.my, especially during these peak hot hours like Hari Raya. Okay, style number 2 with the product bawal tone. What you do is, okay, it is a square scarf. Okay, who said the square scarf cannot wear like a shawl? Alright, I will show you how to do it. Okay, it's a square scarf. Fold into 2. Okay, alright. So it turns to be like this. Okay, put this way. One is long, one is short. Take a brush. Okay, you can use the same brush as now. Okay, and when you style bawal, you can make sure that you cover your hair, but it doesn't need to cover your inner, right? So everybody will have a set of inner, and when you have a different color of inner, it can match back with the bawal scarf of Aidijuma. So then, okay, with a long side, one is long side, one is a short side. Okay, you can see this. Okay, what do you do? Easy, very easy. Okay, this is a shawl style that very easy, that everyone will ask the same question. Okay, how to wear it? Okay, bawal scarf, a square scarf to be a shawl. You twist here. Okay, when you twist this one, just take one pin it here. Okay, ta-da! So it become like bawal scarf, a square scarf that just now you're wearing a triangle style. Now you're wearing a shawl style. So at the back, the outlook of this scarf will be like this. Okay, you will get the kind of this. Oh, sorry. Alright. Okay, this is how you style bawal scarf by Aidijuma, which can be purchased with a special offer in lazada.com.my/LazadaTV. Okay, this is style number 2. For product category number 2, bawal tone by Aidijuma. So the color for this bawal tone for this season is always a lovely pastel, because this season everyone wants to be as sweet as possible, as lovely as possible for our Hari Raya, right? So grab this beautiful scarf, easy to match with any dress, baju kurung, or casual wear. Okay, we're done with the product number 2, bawal tone. Okay, next, let's jump into the bawal printed. Aidijuma is famous for our bawal printed because in Malaysia, we are among the first who do bawal printed. Before this, people say that who want to wear bawal printed? Okay, who want to wear a printed scarf? Everyone will come into the market, bawal printed. Everyone will do printed for the scarf. Paisley, flower, mosaic, porcelain, okay, all the conventional image and print. So to be outstanding, we decide, we means the designer means me, okay, because the idea of this product Aidijuma is Aidijuma. So that's how it becomes Aidijuma. So I said, okay, let's be a little bit crazy, okay, but we come up with a cute printing, with a cute printed that everyone will feel fresh, young and lively when they dress up and they style in our scarf. So grab this beautiful printed scarf in lazada.com.my. So this one, if you see, come in a very sweet minty color. Okay, you can see the placement of the image. We have one side with all the polka dots, the center with the flower, and another side with all this plain block. Okay, the whole idea so that you can play with this scarf, you can style with this scarf. If you twist this way, you will get only this side. Okay, you can see you will get the ladybird. Alright, if you want to see a bit more serious, okay, hide your ladybird. Okay, what do? You twist this side, you get all the flowers. Okay, if you want to be a bit more playful and looks casual, you twist this side. Okay, that's why it's like we always say, wear it as you. Aidijuma tagline is, scarf with soul, wear it as you. So why did I fold this scarf this way? When you wear, okay, what do? I believe that everybody is so used how to wear a shawl, and they will be very scared to try a printed scarf, okay? But don't worry, grab it at Lazada with the best price and try this style, okay? So it becomes a shawl already. So the day you decide to wear a triangle style, like the way I'm wearing it, okay, fold it into a triangle, put a brooch and tie the knot. Okay, but the day you still want to style it in a shawl, okay, the way that we used to wear our scarf, or the way that how do you begin to wear the scarf, okay, pick this style. So you can see, if I can repeat this one, yeah, okay, you fold the scarf into two, okay, make it one long and one short. Wear the inner as you comfortable. Okay, put the brooch here. Okay, like this, and you twist the scarf. Okay, so you get one look ready with this scarf. You can see this one. You can see the bubble in front or the polka dot in front. Okay, at the back. Oh, sorry. Okay. But if you want to look a bit more serious, okay, you want people to say, oh, okay, you are adult, but you look young. Okay, every girls like to be treated like adults, but you cannot say they are old. Okay, so wearing the right scarf will ensure that you look young forever and ever. Okay, so what do? Twist this one. Okay, fold the scarf again. Okay, make sure the flower side. Okay. Put the print on your face, the flower. Okay, when you wear flower, automatic people say you are matured. Okay, you are matured, but you're still a girl. Okay, and then do the brush. Twist this, you can see. This time around, you get the flower in front. Just now, you get the polka dot in front. Okay. Oh, sorry. I meant to cover your face. This way. Alright, this is style 2 with the same scarf. Did anyone see the polka dot just now? It's not. It's gone. So this time around, you look a very firm, professional, classy chick. So this is how we design our scarf. We always want everybody to buy the scarf with a lot of thinking how to style it. Wear it as you. But the best part of our product, which is Aidijuma Scarf, is we provide this product. You can twist and wear. You can style it in many different styles, but at the best price. So grab this at lazada.com.my/LazadaTV. Okay, we are done with this style 2 for this scarf. Okay, I just want to show you last style for this scarf, okay? Because we want everyone to know that you buy one scarf, you can always twist and wear. You can make sure that value for money. So one scarf, even though it's a cheap, or people can say it's supposed to be affordable, okay, and it is affordable, it can make you look super cool and super fun and look pretty. Okay, this is the last style that I think most of the girls know how to do it. Okay, we do it the butterfly style. Okay, so this one, you make it same. Alright, we still with the same scarf. Just now that we wear the bubble style, we wear the flower style, and now we style it in a butterfly style. So with one scarf, you know, if you can recap, you can do it in 3 different styles already. So imagine if how creative you can be, and you're in the mood of dress up. You can really play and really make sure that your style is unique, and definitely you are wearing it as you. Okay. You see this butterfly style? What do? Brush below here, pin on the shoulder. Okay, then get pin on the other side. Okay. You see the difference? Okay. Can you see the looks? Okay, and at the back it's like this. Okay, so now you can see how practical is the scarf and how affordable is the scarf. So grab it at lazada.com.my/LazadaTV. So now it's about time to change to another scarf. Even though one scarf can wear many styles and can wear different styles, it doesn't mean that you just need to grab one scarf. So grab a few because the price is really good. Okay, let's move to another color. If just now you can see, we designed the product with a center with printed. Okay, it's a printed, the center. Okay, and you have butterfly. You have the element of, you can be playful, you can be serious, you can be playful, you can be casual, and you have to be serious in life. So one scarf is always telling a story of life. Okay, because for this Hari Raya, Aidijuma campaign is a toned down pastel, toned down Ramadan and pretty of pastel. So this is what the idea of pastel color, where everything needs to be pretty and looks pretty. So this is one more of the pretty of pastel. Okay, if you can see the scarf, even if you wear the other side, the print look the same. Because it's a method of printing. That's why we call it a Bawal printed love, because we design with love. Okay, and we sell it with love also, and I believe Lazada also give a love price for everyone who go and shop at their portal. So if you can see the difference between this scarf and the other one, is the center. Just now the center got printed, and now the center is plain. Because many people have an issue, they're not sure either to try printed or not, but they think the printed will look very messy on their face. Therefore, try this one. Grab this at lazada.com.my/LazadaTV. So this will give you a chance to try a printed scarf, but yet not so printed, you know, not so messy on your face. So you don't have to be worried about you put some printed on your face, suddenly you look like full of things, and then you're not sure either you look sweet and nice. Okay, because everyone think that when they wear a plain scarf, they look young, they look cool, they look classy. But if you can wear this one, where center is plain, alright, and at the border only is the printed. This is where the first time we're coming into the market. This kind of scarf is never exists yet. Everyone, either you do full printed, or you do the plain, or you have the plain, you provide the plain. So when Aidijuma come into the market, what I did is that I design different way. I come up with the L border, which is you can twist and wear, because I am somebody who's like to wear one thing but many style, one thing but many times, because so that you don't waste your money shopping for one item, wear it for one time, everybody remember about it already. It's a waste, right? Therefore, grab this one at lazada.com.my/LazadaTV with the best price for this Raya. Okay, back to the style of this scarf. Okay, if you can see, it's a tone. Okay, you want to look very cute, classy, match with your baju kurung. You don't need to do much, okay, because the scarf is already designed with a pretty image with the right color. Okay, pink is always the favorites of every girls. And you just bridge here. Okay, if you want to look a bit different, or you want to look more comfortable, okay, you can pull back the scarf and make sure that your inner is looking fun. So then you don't have to worry about the awning, okay? And you can twist this on one side, leave it this one, flow, okay, and pin. I like to use pin, but it's up to you. If you like to use brooch, okay, it's your call, because at the end of the day, as what Aidijuma always said, wear it as you, because you are your own stylist, okay? Remember that. Everyone have their own unique way of wearing the scarf, of mix and match of the clothes. So this is the freedom that provided by this brand, Aidijuma Scarf, for everyone out there. So if you wear the express scarf, you need to wear one style, okay? You just put in and you twist the thing. But with this scarf, Aidijuma Bawal, you can style any way, any style, any kind of method, any creativity that suddenly you think, okay, you want to make it look like longer or shorter. It's all up to you. But the most important thing, grab this scarf at lazada.com.my, LazadaTV. So do you see, while I'm talking, I'm already styled this girl, and it become a very comfortable, easy, let loose, practical style. So what you do is that fold it into a triangle, put the brush here, okay, and okay, if I can move her closer to me, okay, make it a very practical, and you pin on the shoulder, and one side let loose, okay? Because at the end of the day, I love to see people who wear a scarf or people who wear a dress and they feel comfortable. You know, it's not too tight, it's not too messy, it's not too many rules and regulation how it should be on someone. Because at the end of the day, wearing a scarf or have a fashion item is a sign of freedom. Therefore, dear ladies out there, grab all this beautiful scarf at the best affordable price at lazada.com.my/LazadaTV, and remember this brand name, Aidijuma Scarf. Okay, bye. Selamat Hari Raya.